Well, with your permission, we should start. We have now around 15 minutes of delay, but I hope to finish this session 1 p.m. sharp. So let's start, please. I would first start a presentation, very short, of me. I had the PolSCA, Polish Science Contact Agency in Brussels, but it is a liaison office of the Polish Academy of Sciences. I'm heading now the Polish Science Contact Agency. It is liaison office in the Brussels, created by the Polish Academy of Sciences. So we are located very close to European Parliament and DG Research. PolSCA mission is to promote Polish parties, mostly Polish parties' participation in the European initiative programs, projects. Mostly we are interested in support of our presence in the 7th framework program. Main task, this is generally the same as a number of other liaison offices in Brussels, like German COVI, like French CLORA, etc., etc. So this is support to projects, assistance in expert searching for exam, consultations, etc., etc. We work in Brussels since 2005, but the first period it was organizational one. And since 2006, we organized in total 150 events, like seminars, even meetings and expositions. This is my contact data. And if you are interested in my CV, CV is printed in the conference papers. Okay, so I will change place. All right. And now I would like to ask our speakers just to keep the time of their presentations up to 10 minutes. And around 2 minutes before the elapsed time, I will just stand up to signal that you should be ready to finish your presentations. And well, the theme of this session is well known. This is tackling grand societal challenges at the regional levels. And the first, our speaker is Mr. Antonio Di Giulio. He is currently head of unit in the DGRTD European Commission. Generally, his fields of interests are agriculture and food policies, generally speaking. May I ask you to take the floor, please?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here today. Thank you very much, Chairman. And I will address you on the driving forces of regional development and the bioeconomy. The theme of this session is concerning the challenges. So my very first message is that the bioeconomy strategy, as well as those very important strategies, Europe 2020 and Innovation Union, which are inbuilt, they are taking some of these challenges that we're all facing. You see food, energy, climate, health, and aging. Now, how do we take these challenges on board, and which are the main characteristics? When we talk about food, we talk about food security. We talk about also how do we manage our natural resources, how do we mitigate and how to adapt to climate change. These are basically very clear key challenges. But one, and the most important one, I guess, that is also in the eyes of everybody, is how do we create and maintain jobs in Europe. So this is also another major challenge that the bioeconomy strategies is taking on board. And here we have an indication of what will be the future program, Horizon 2020, and the challenge about food security. So we are now talking about the food security, sustainable agriculture, marine and maritime research, and the bioeconomy. This is basically built on the three main pillars of the excellent science, so which are in the same time integral part of Horizon 2020, better society, and looking clearly at the competitive aspects. And all around, you may see all the different actions and support programs which are basically dealing with this strategy. But now we're talking about regions here today. It is important to know and to check also what is the place of the regions in this context. And I would like to say that, if you look at this map, you see that the innovation is a bit unevenly distributed in Europe. If I look at the OECD data, which, includes also other countries, as you might know, half of the total of the R&D investments in the OECD area is basically remaining within 13% of the regions. So here it's something that we need to think about how to make this process more evenly, better distributed in terms of investments. Now, if we are going to move to new strategies, new endeavors, we cannot forget skills. We need skills, we need new skills. How do we promote them? Well, I have here three aspects which I like to share with you. One is that we have to promote within these challenges activities which look clearly at our ecosystems in a way that they use less energy, less water, less land. So in line with the resource efficiency aspects, we should do more with less. Secondly, how do we promote and valorize innovation? Innovation is meant not only as new products, but also as new business models, as new processes, and also how do we make this innovation socially optimal? And thirdly, how do we deliver these territorial approaches in a more systematic way? I think that this is one of the major aspects which has been debated, will be debated, has been debated also in this conference. And this brings to the question of the smart specialization. I would like to say that, when we deal with this smart specialization, typically we look at what? The institutional settings of the regions. We look at the regional innovation strengths and weakness, of course. And then we also have to make some strategic choices. When we make strategic choices, and I would, with that, support the fact that, we have to integrate the territories. This has been said already yesterday. How do we integrate territories, enterprises, people, working and concentrating resources in the most promising areas? That's why I said, let's look at the institutional setting. Let's see which are the strengths and weaknesses when we look at the regional aspects. And finally, how do we make sure that we can make the most and the most, I would say, valuable choices when we look towards a specific specialization aspects. Now, these aspects here of smart specialization have also been taken on board. And I like to see now two topics for those of you who are eagerly waiting for the new work program to be out. And this will be officially out at the beginning of July, but we have already put it on the web portal for the participants portal, the orientation paper. You will see that there are two aspects that we have amongst all the other topics. And these are directly related to this regional dimension. So how do we bridge, basically, to Horizon 2020? And here, I just want to quickly give you some examples of these strategies. Now, we want to promote more industry. We want to see how we can basically work out strategies which, in a way, do balance what the experts call dematerialization of our economy. As you might know, 65% of our economies are basically on services. Now there is a mainstream thinking, how can we improve, in a way, industrial policy, the manufacturing policies? And now I just like to show you how this biomass that, we all have to deal, and specifically to these challenges, is basically there. You see that, on the blue line, compared to other material, this has been quite stable. But at the same time, you see, and if you take on the second graph, the agricultural GDP has gone up. So in a way, we are basically efficient. Of course, we are, but we use maybe less of what could we possibly use. And therefore, this is a stimulus for more activities in these areas. And this is an example. This is an example of what we mean in taking up those biomass, making sure that, we can develop this cascading approach. And this is an example of what we call biorefinery. Is now a difficult terminology sometimes to be accepted, this of the biorefinery, because it brings us back to the so-called refineries and the petrol. But we want to go over the post-petrol societies. Now, as I said, I give you some examples to see also the challenges and what do we propose to face these challenges. And as I said before, this of the agricultural land, less water, less energy is a key problem. Now you see that, I took this example in France, but you see that there is 1 billion of extra costs for bottled water when basically we can't handle, inputs, agricultural inputs in the proper way. And that's something that has to make us thinking how we can do better. The same, as I said, is agricultural adaptation and mitigation. This is a way of seeing what could happen if we don't control below this 2 degrees increase in temperature. And now the food. Let's not forget that, this is sustaining us, making us also with a lot of pleasure when we eat, and giving us also pleasure when we meet with people. But we have to make sure that these sustainable food chains really work, and these are basically some of the aspects that we are trying to put forward in our new strategies. Environmental impacts, social impacts, economic impacts. How do we manage with that through the food chains? Another challenge, and this is just giving you some flavor of what this challenge means, is how do we manage also these losses? And I know that you're very strict with the time, but I'll try to make it.
Still 2-3 minutes.
Sure. But then we move into the innovation. And many times I hear, but you're only thinking about radical innovators that these are called disruptive innovators and not about incremental innovators. Yes, we do think about those both. And if you see in the food and beverages biotechnologies, main is product in this context. But there is a growing area, which is the hybrid innovation, which is product, process, and also business one. And we should take also into account this context. And that's why this strategy, which is basically investing on 3 pillars: investment in research, reinforced policy coherence, enhancement of markets, this is what we are trying now to put forward. And you will see that in the future, Horizon 2020, we will have doubled what is today in the area. So we were about 4.7 billion. So from the 1.9, we will be up to 4.7. And you see, and I like to insist on this, for each euro that you invest in research, from modeling out, we have 10 euros out up to 2020. And now, Mr. Chairman, the 3 key messages that I like to deliver and leave with you. So how do we promote this challenge-driven approach, facing these challenges which are those societal challenges most up to us? How do we provide an effective policy and technology options to these challenges? As you might know, you have the most optimal on the economic side, but cannot or might not be the most optimal on the social side. How do we manage that? And thirdly, how do we foster with our member states, region, stakeholders, and all the relative interest parties this more comprehensive approach into this bioeconomy strategy? And I hope I didn't abuse too much of my time. Thank you.
Very perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Antonio. It's a very interesting idea of dematerialized economy, but certainly bioeconomy will be not totally dematerialized. Yes, exactly. And now I would like to ask Professor Stanisław Bielecki, full professor at the Institute of Technical Biochemistry, Faculty of Biotechnology and Food Sciences at Łódź. This is the central region of Poland. Łódź University of Technology. Professor was very active and still is very active in many national and international platforms for development industrial biotechnology and bioeconomy, and finally, rector of this Łódź University of Technology. Please, Professor, floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind introduction. Because of time, I will start my talk and will continue the bioeconomy problem, but from the regional perspective, from the perspective of Łódź. So Łódź is the province in the center of Poland, as you see, but in the same time in the center of Europe. So it means that why not to be a center of bioeconomy in Poland? What is the bioeconomy? We already know from the previous speaker, but why the bioeconomy in Łódź? Because Łódź was also the town of innovative technology. There was the first steam engine, first tram without horses, the first telephone network, and also the biotechnology at the technological university was introduced in Poland, and the textile industry collapsed. So why not to change the textile or all types textile product to bio-based product? The bioeconomy definition you know already because Antonio told you, but why the bioeconomy Łódź? We have the human capital. What about the renewable resources? There are good R&D centers. We'll try to have the integrative approach, and also we have already some international connection. So human resources is a few universities, Technical University of Łódź. What is important maybe, I would like to say that we have the special courses, here, just only in English for our students, so they could work on over the world. The other human resources, this is Medical University, University of Łódź, Institute of Medical Biology, also the Center of Polish Academy of Science, and also regarding the biomass, the Research Institute of Horticulture in Skierniewice. I said that we are trying to be integrated, so we are built many years ago, the Center of Advanced Technology, Biotech Med, and the main actors in our region are playing important role in that. What we are doing, I do not want to say how we are doing to have the bioeconomy center, but what we are doing just now and what we achieved. So it was said about the importance of biomass. So this is the one of the work which was carried out in my institute and coordinated with some other institute and industry from Poland, and just to change, to transfer the biomass to different products, to nanofibers and to bioplastics, as it was said. Then together with our foreign colleagues, we are trying to use a different type of biomass to convert it to these different solvents and then use in chemistry. When we talk about that type of processes to replace the chemical processes to bioprocesses, we have to know that at the same time we change a lot of CO2 emission, we change the energy, we change the space even of the factory. So talking about the bioeconomy, we have to take into consideration such aspect. What is already done, this is the biopolymer made by bacteria, is a bio-nanocellulose. I talk about this because it was sold to the company. And now we are preparing a different type of scaffolds using this type of bio-nanocellulose connected with the tissue culture to prepare a proper implants. What we are doing in the region to improve the development of bioeconomy. We built the nanobiopark, The nanobiopark is an investment about 60 millions, and there is a special laboratory for the bio-nano technology for the new companies and also for research which can be done for the small company. The another investment is the Bio and Nanotechnology Center. It is already we are trying to have the financial engineering of that, but it's a lot of work devoted to the energy, to the life, to healthcare, and to the environment. There are some companies, I will not tell you about them, but we have the biotech companies like Mabion, like Proton. There is also the R&D, like 3Man Chemicals, very famous company, very good one, and ICHEM, and also Adamet is the second probably pharma company in Poland, and some other companies dealing with cosmetics, also with the food industry, which is quite strong in the region, and other like construction chemicals or innovative technology. The recent achievement also of our scientists in Łódź was the installation in the sewage treatment plant in Łódź, the special column which is used for the desulfurization of biogas. There are so many different biogas production plants in Poland and also in Łódź, but to use the biogas for energy purposes, you have to have the clean gas. So just to use the special microorganisms for desulfurization, it was opened, this plant, just 2 weeks ago. The next part of the bioeconomy in our region is look at the environment. As you know, probably, in this region, the 1/3 of the energy is produced in Poland, mainly from the brown coal. But it is not so clean, let's say, technology, and there are a lot of CO2 emission in that. So we try to approach to that resources, to the fossil in different way. You have the example here, how the microorganisms solubilize the brown coal to the liquid. Probably the greener process in future will appear with that. Even the mining will change, I do hope. So that was not working. So what we plan with the region? We have the crops, we have the bioproduction waste. So there are different steps and ways. We are going to green energy, but also we are thinking and work a lot about different bioproducts and advanced new material, but we wanted to improve and optimize the product and also the processes. And the bioenergy in Poland is mainly from crops, is liquid biofuels from starch, green electricity and heat is mainly burning together with biomass, so we need the intensive research to optimize the process. And there is a bioenergy from waste and bioproduct, also the biogas production, so I showed the example how we improve the biogas for that purpose. And this is a lot of support from the country, from the region to develop this type of plant. So in the region we decided to continue existing branches and make the technologies more green. For the medium-term action, I would like to say that we optimize the technology, and then further we wanted to connect the bio-industry with other branches to improve their technology. I finish almost. Yeah, so I shortened this conclusion. It could be in discussion, I could tell. So what the region is doing more? We decided to make a type of coordination unit of cluster of the Polish bioregion regarding the bioeconomy. So the marshal and of different voivodeship signed the agreement. Then we will discuss about the bioeconomy. In November there is to have the international conference on that and just to look what we are doing and what else in which direction we have to go. And the last one is just when I am telling about the integration approach. We are thinking about the kind of metropolitan research center just to use the potential in more effective ways. Thank you for the attention.
Thank you very much, Professor. You are really perfect in keeping the time. Thank you very much. Well, I would like only to put your attention to the efficient structural funds using in Łódź. A few examples you could see on your slides. Yeah, maybe I will pose a question later on. Okay, and also it's very impressive to me this brown coal liquefying technology. Maybe it will be future breaking technology. I hope only that will be not among these 9,999 technologies which will not achieve the stage of realization. Yes, so it was said. That is what said during our plenary session today. Well, the next speaker is Dr. Zlatuse Novotna, Head of International Relations, Central European Institute of Technology, Masaryk University of Brno, Czech Republic, doctoral degree at University of Veterinary and Pharmaceutical Science in Brno, also marketing and strategic business planning, it's also your specialization. And now, as I see, you are the manager of one RECPOT project and one Regions of Knowledge project.
Yes.
Well, please, floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Let me share with you some experience of my region, which is South Moravia. I think that our experience is very similar to this presented by Professor previously about the Łódź. We are a region positioned in the south part of Czech Republic. You see that we are in the very heart of Europe, and we are very proud to be the second largest concentration of R&D potential of the whole country. The capital is Brno with 6 universities and number of students, and nowadays we are also having a number of companies with R&D in-house. But just to come to the roots, I'd like to mention also some prehistory of the region. So as you see, in the late 1990s we experienced following profound political changes, a kind of Czech wave of privatization and economic transformation, which was very hard for the region and for the population. It was characterized by deregulation and price liberalization, by soft landings, incentives for companies, and easy access to credit. But several years later, we experienced also some negative consequences like credit crunch and tough foreign competition. So the result around 2000 was that the region was in a very difficult position. The local industries, the typical one, were practically reduced. Textile industry disappeared completely, and also foreign investment. Yes, we had some, but very little new companies. It was mostly takeover, some of them hostile even. Then the result, as I mentioned, was some 12% of unemployment in the region, and in some areas as high as 20%. So nothing very positive. So the response of political representation, both regional and national, was to make something against and to develop some regional innovation strategies. Here is an example about a plant, of Flextronics plant, which after using the nice incentives of the region left, and they left 2,500 unemployed people. So this is just quite negative example of this time. Just starting with the regional innovation strategy, we were happy to reach some regional consensus and be the first region in the so-called Visegrad geographic area to create our regional innovation strategy. The result of the first phase was creation of South Moravia Innovation Center. And here you can see that we already have a third version of this strategy. Each phase concentrated on one main objective. The first one on incubation, the second one of the infrastructure, and now we are focusing on human resources for this infrastructure and on cluster development. You see we have several incubators also in the biotech field, in technical fields of course, and the result after years I can present that we reached nice results with 55 startups incubated, a creation of 350 jobs, and you see a face of our successful incubated entrepreneur, Mr. Moderator, who is now with his firm Ysoft exporting to the US and to Japan. We created also, or the region was able to create a lot of jobs thanks to attracting foreign companies. You see, it's basically ICT field, and I'd like to point out Honeywell, which created a very big research center, research and development center in Brno. So this is not only about using incentive, but really to creating something, some added value in the region. And concerning the second phase, this means building the infrastructure. So you see again logos of several of projects which applied successfully for structural funds. Some of them are based in a health care area, so this means we make research development in the field of human health and well-being. Also in climate change, you see Czech Glow project, for instance, and also in the technical branches such as advanced materials and structures, or NetMe Center is also a regional center for new materials and technologies. So you see on this slide that in the region we focus on concerning smart specialization strategies. We focus on our strength, which is health care or let's say research in life sciences, then on the technical branches and precious engineering. Here is an example of our biggest project. It's CETEC, Central European Institute of Technologies, and a big investment, really 200 million euros. And similarly as in Łódź, we are trying to connect material sciences and life sciences in one institute under one roof. Here you see some of new life sciences labs. And the clinical research is represented by the ICRC project. It's also a very unique partnership between Faculty Hospital of Masaryk University and Mayo Clinic. And again, the investment is very high. I must say that also Czech government supports this project, so they co-finance a part of this investment. So this is especially true about the ICRC Center. And concerning the third phase of our endeavors in the region, we are now focusing on developing human resources for this new research infrastructures, which is very important. We have a co-fund scheme in the region. I'd like to point out that the region co-funds again 60% of this sum of 4 million euros for 2 years. And now we are starting with the SOMOPRO 2 projects, so we will be able to fund other positions. The project is about attracting foreign researchers to Brno, so we were able to attract 25 distinguished researchers mostly from Western Europe and from the US. And I will finish with some synergies mentioning my 2 projects. What would be all the strategies and all the research centers without having them incorporated properly in the economic system of the region. So the Symbiosis project is a Regions of Knowledge project focused on proper linking of the research, business and regional authorities in one cluster. So we develop a region in the region a research-driven cluster together with Italian partners. And my other example of the synergies is Project Silica, which again builds a capacity at Masaryk University and tries to focus again on our priority themes, which is life sciences. You see a picture of Mendel anniversary, so we are very proud of this scientist coming from Brno. And the second is the fact that Brno is a fourth leader in the manufacturing of electronic microscope. So let me finish with this slide. We really make a lot of effort to make our vision true, that our region will rank among first 50 innovative regions in Europe next year, and I am sure that we will meet this goal. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Novotna. Thank you very much for keeping time. And well, it's a very interesting story of starting on failure, on crisis, yes, and with very, very happy ending. Happy landing, you said, yeah, happy landing. So thank you very much. It's very optimistic and encouraging example. Well, the next speaker is Miss Christina Jonang from Sweden, Bachelor of Arts, University of Gothenburg, specialized in history of economics. And you started your political career very, very early. It's a very young person, I see from your CV here. So congratulations. And that concerns the same region of Vastra, Gotaland, as former speaker during today's plenary session. It was Ms. Helena Nilsson, also from the same region, isn't
Exactly.
it? So now you are a member of board of the region of Vastra, Gotaland, as a politician, I think. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Please, floor is yours.
Thank you, everyone. Nice to be here and have this interesting discussion during this seminar. I want to talk a bit about how to tackling societal challenges at regional level, and I would like to take the example within the healthcare sector. Västra Götaland is a region with a strong position of automotive. I was born just 20 kilometers from the Volvo car production in Sweden, and also just beside the petrochemical industries. 90% of the petrochemical industries is situated in the western part of Sweden. We also had a lot of textile industries, and we are the biggest tourist area in Sweden. We have the biggest port in Scandinavia, and there is going a lot of goods through that port, even from almost everything from Norway goes there as well. And 75% of the containers producing goods in Sweden are going through Gothenburg. We have a strong base in Västra Götaland in research and education, and we also have a well-established tradition of cooperation between the industry, the academy, and the public bodies. And we also have a top position in research and development investment by businesses, because we have those global and big companies situated in our region. If we come to the healthcare sector, the Västra Götaland region finance the healthcare sector, which consists of 18 hospitals, more than 100 healthcare centers, a lot of dentist clinics and so on. We have within the healthcare sector about 45,000 employees. So we are in a very strong position to deal with the healthcare. The We also have a long tradition in healthcare, and here you can see Mr. Arvid Carlsson, which got the Nobel Prize in Medicine 10 years ago. We also have one of the largest university hospitals situated here in Gothenburg, and a tradition in biomedicine and natural science. You probably know AstraZeneca and their success in Seloken and Losec and such good thing for keeping the patients, the people healthy. If we look upon the challenges then, the life science field covers a large number of challenges from the regional to the global level. If you want to have a sustainable growth, it is not possible if you don't have a healthy population. So there is a lot of challenges among the life science field. We also have those challenges as an aging population, too much diabetics, too much stroke, too much cancer. We're dealing with climate change. We need to be very cost efficiency among all these challenges which we have to deal with. So if you need the sustainable growth, you also had to struggle for a healthy population. The Västra Götaland region is, as I told you, responsible for the healthcare, but we are also responsible for the regional development. And that is a quite new thing in Sweden, because we haven't had regions for so very long time. The Västra Götaland region was founded in 1999, and before 1999, we just deal with healthcare. But now we are a region, and we also deal with the regional development. And this gives us a lot of opportunities to cooperate and to take care of the solutions which can be brought out if the healthcare sector and the companies and the researchers and so on cooperate more. I will give you a more concrete example how we work within the healthcare to get the employees to put up their IDs, to put up an innovation gateway, as we say. It's a matter of helping the employees within the healthcare sector to get in, to get through, and to get out with good ideas and coming up with good results and keep and continue the healthcare sector to move on with a lot of good ideas. But the employees within the healthcare sector says that they need support, and they also says that the new ideas within the healthcare sector is not easy recognized in the daily work. Of course, there are a lot of problems in the daily work. Of course, there are things that could be better, but there are not always time or not always support to take care of all these good ideas. We are stuck into drain pipes, we often say. At the same time, many employees within the healthcare sector says that I'm not interested to be rich, I'm not interested to be famous, I just want to solve the problem in my daily work. So how do we do? There is also a demand from the politicians. We want to have even more qualitative benefits within the healthcare sector, not only the economical profits. So this is the current situation. Of course, there are barriers in this, attitudes, mindsets. There are very different kinds of ideas. I mean, if you work as a nurse and you find a problem in your daily work, you don't say at once, oh, could be a research project. But after a while, you probably realize that this is this need a researching project, or you can say that this is a level of high practice. If you have a lot of ideas, it isn't always that much commercialization within the ideas. Or you have the laws against you, or you have other barriers which could, a lot of ideas could stay in your minds, and there are no one to take care of them. So we have tried to creating a more innovative organization within the healthcare sector, to strengthen the capacity to stimulate and to manage to take care of innovative ideas. And the schedule for this is like this. I will end very soon, and try to get, should we say, a functional process for those working in the healthcare sector to take care of their ideas and to help them to collaborate, have a collaboration with the industry and so on. Kind of meeting places and also platforms for cooperating with the industry. And in the end, the impact that we hope to get is to put new knowledge into practice, to encourage innovation and development, to get the feelings among the employees I'm working in an innovative organization. And also, as I told you, a functional collaboration with industry for co-development of projects. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this interesting description, new description of this Vastra region. What I noted here, the citation of yours, of some of your medicine doctors, that they are not interested to be rich, to be famous. They are interested to, I understand, to live in harmony with themselves. Yeah? This is innovative approach of Scandinavian country, I think. Well, I would like to see this innovation expand, not only in Europe. Well, our next speaker, in the last but not least, is Professor Piotr Lasota from the most important Polish pharmaceutical company. This is Polpharma Biologics R&D Director. Piotr has a number of positions. This is Polpharma Institution, this is Foundation.
Well, this is usual. I think the problem is that this is a generic company, so we are trying to save money, so we have a couple of positions, but one salary, you know, that's okay.
So I will just skip the mentioning all of this position. So anyway, you play an important role in the R&D and innovation policy of the company, I understand.
Some people think that way, and I hope that this is the case. So thank you very much, and thank you very much for the invitation. I think that, I changed the slides? Yeah, okay, I can do it. So I think that I belong to a different breed here for the reason, not because I am tall, I think, that's one thing, but because I'm looking from a different perspective. I'm not going to tell you, overall strategy of the cluster or the economic zone or whatever it is. We're actually the beneficiary of one of the economic zones that are located in the northern Poland. So, a little introduction to Polpharma. So, why the company like Polpharma would be interested in biotechnology? As you know, today's state-of-the-art does not guarantee survival tomorrow. And Kodak is probably the best example of the company that lost everything because it didn't keep up with the changes. And you probably know that Kodak was the inventor of the digital photography. Just sold it to Japanese because they thought it's going to be useless and it's going to be competing with its core business, which is paper, or was paper at that time. Anyway, Sony is another example. Did you ever buy Sony TV years ago? It was state of the art. Now it's not anymore. So we would like to avoid that type of future, and I think this is why we try to invest in biotechnology. Modern biotechnology, the old biotechnology is the one that is used to produce wine and beer, and I'm a glad beneficiary of that one. But this is not what we use at Polpharma. So at Polpharma, I would like to start from biologics and biosimilars. And one more thing that I would like to emphasize is that we are going to be looking at profits, obviously. We are not hiding that the pharma company operates for profits. If there's no profits, there is no research in the future. There's no future for the company. So we have to make money. And then we can reinvest that money into new research. So it's something that is self-propelled, but we have to make money. So the goal is to make money. And these are some details that you probably are not interested in. We rented space in a Gdańsk Technology Research and Technology Park, or Science and Technology Park, which is located in the Pomerian Special Economic Zone. Roughly we'll have 2,400 square meters, which is 30,000 square feet by US measures. The reason why we wanted to be there is there are a couple of reasons. One is that this is the same special economic zone where our main factory is located in Starogarh Gdański, but also Gdańsk is close, or actually is a hub or a place of three major academic centers. So there's university, there's medical school, and there's also polytechnical school there as well. And it's not too far away from our main campus of Starogarh Gdański. I will not tell you how much we pay for the rent of the space, because then all of you will move there and it's going to be very crowded. But if you'd like to get more information, let me know so I can direct you to the right people in that special economic zone that are renting space in the park. It's very, very favorable. And we are really grateful that we could rent space in this park. So this is the building where we're going to be located on the first floor. What does it mean to the region? We're going to be creating 50 new jobs, highly skilled, so people who are highly skilled. We have already 12 people on board. 2 are expats. We actually recruited them from Munich. 3 are scientists with extensive training abroad. So 5 out of 12 have really training from the outside of Poland. So we recruited these guys, 2 actually back, and 3 were already in Poland. Now, there are also other direct benefits to the region, and I'm not mentioning benefits to Polpharma. Obviously, we would like to be a modern pharma company, and this is why we're doing that. But also a simple benefit like creating jobs for architects. Others are listed. I'm not going to be reading them here, but just to give you an example. As a biotech, you start having nothing. Well, maybe not nothing. At that time, that was 2 of us, and an engineer from Starogarh Gdański, from our main factory. We had a flip chart and a couple of markers. So basically we said we have to design the labs. So this is the first design. They almost refused to take a photograph of that when I asked them, but I said, look, you'll remember that for the rest of your lives. You know, this is the first design of the labs. But then somebody has to turn that into this. And we cannot do it. We have to hire a company that does it for us. So this is creation of jobs on that project outside of the special economic zone. Now, by the way, this company moved into the special economic zone a few months ago. Other benefits for the country. Some are expected, some are less expected. So, for example, we plan to open a manufacturing plant in Starogarh Gdański for biologics, so that's to be expected. However, what is unexpected, for example, is this. It is expected that we interact with academic centers, that's fine. But because we created a group, we got invited to form a postgraduate biotechnology program, guess where? Here, in Kraków. So that has nothing to do with the location of us in Gdańsk, but because we created a group of people who was capable of creating such a program, we got invited by the Jagiellonian University to teach that here in Krakow. And there is a lot of indirect benefits like that coming from the fact that we invest in technology, we invest in knowledge, we invest in our people. So that's all what I had to say. I was trying to be brief, and I was trying to give you some concrete examples of how innovation benefits us from the perspective of a company that opened laboratories in one of the special economic zones, thanks to the support from the European Union and Polish authorities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. You left 5 or 6 minutes more for questions, answers, and discussion. Thank you.